And my underpants, you know.
How
best to do
romantic.
that. Yeah. Anyway, never mind. Talk about romance. You raised the topic of my week, romance. You see, because what's been the big thing, of course.
Romance.
Well, before we get into all the romance and so on, is it you? I mean, are you Fishybottom? No, are you really? You
Don't look at me like that.
You're your Piggypoos.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you're not Mugglybugglysnottysnooze, are you? No, I didn't think. Now, I was looking through the Guardian, and all the Guardian, the Times, all those Valentines. I kept saying, "Hello, Fishybottom," and I thought one of these is from Janice to me, clearly, but I couldn't. I thought it's nothing for it. I'll have to come out in the open and ask for it.
Droopy bottom.
Well, I just must have missed that one. All right. But I mean, as soon as it starts, even your little local paper, you know, those freebies they stick through your door nowadays that are replacing newspapers with nothing in them. Oh no, they got Valentine's in. My one came through the door. I thought, oh, same people. Same people seem to be. Fish face. Love you lots and lots. Good luck. Love mush. I mean, that's just the same thing, you know. But there's like for fish face. But then, I mean, there's in mine they had some little heart-shaped things, you know, like that lozenges. It's a little hearts with a thing. And straight away you've got a nice heart there in the middle of the paper, and it says pig's bum. Best of luck, love and kisses, jug handles. Makes you wonder, what do they get up to behind closed doors? But then here's another one. It says, para mi gallego, más que el Mendes que mañana, besos te uso. I just say it like that because I saw the word mañana in it. Now, that is probably Spanish for pig's bum. Lots of, you know, isn't it? You see, it's an international thing, and we don't know. But, of course, these people are bum crazy. Bum crazy. As soon as Valentine's, then they can hide behind this anonymity. As soon as all the papers are doing it, all the music, everybody did it. I looked in the Daily Mail, I looked down it. Listen to this one, for instance. Bottom. Love you forever, sweetheart. But there's somebody else coming in as well. You can realise there's the other person. Bottom. Be my Valentine. Love, nose. That. Really? I mean, which is it? Sweetheart or nose? You know, there's something not quite right, but I don't know. I feel like it's almost like pop press day. You can even get a different style. Because once I had a look at the Daily Telegraph, you see, the Telegraph, here's a typical one. FH, happy Valentine's Day, darling. Keep smiling. All love. 646. Sounds like something that came out from a prisoner of war camp, smuggled out.
What was that in?
It was a Daily Telegraph.
Typical.
Different type of person. None of that fishy bum nonsense in there. Darling, love you. You know, real Noel Coward. Brief encounter. You can hear the piano coming up. Ding, 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 ding. Playing the theme from Fishybottom. Ling, ding, ding, ding. That sort of thing. There's some of them almost like an advert. Listen to this one. Henry loves pokey. Big deal. I mean, who doesn't? I don't know what he said. You know, who thinks he's Mr. Big? Then this one here. This is almost, though, like a warning. Herpes loves Mr. Snappy. Oh, let's keep clear of that one. And then in the Daily Mail, listen. Tanny, the Thompson twins said it all in their latest single. Love, Mark. Doctor, perhaps? Herpes? You can't tell, can you? You just don't know. But this is the one that'll sum it up. This is the one that'll go straight to your heart, Janice. From the Times. Spotty back.
Oh.
Well, I thought this was you and me. I thought this must be Janice's to me. Spotty back. Let me keep squeezing for another year. Love, hairy legs.
Oh, that's horrible.
You know, before we get off these, though, because... Hang on a minute. Before we get off these things, this is another one. This is from The Guardian. Listen. England and England. Love ya, wild and organic. Dingbat love ya. Timbo. You know, on Monday, a letter comes into The Guardian.
Yeah.
So, I wish to correct any confusion that may have arisen as a result of a misprint in my Valentine message to Nurse England. England and England should have read, England, my England. Thus making it clear that it is Nurse England that I believe to be wild and organic, and not this country of ours, as anyone who surveys the prairies of southern England will confirm. Yours sincerely, Dr. T. White. Brackets, Timbo. I thought it was rather smashing. But anyway, I couldn't let you go, Janice. Good on. I mean, you and me, if you haven't put in, if you're not Fishybottom, and I went by the shop. I must admit, all right, so it's the second-hand Valentine, and it says it's old Valentine. This is on the Friday, and I went by the shop. I thought, oh, a lone Valentine in the cake shop window. Here, open that packet. I haven't opened it since they wrapped it up in the cake shop.
What is it? It's a bit
But
crawly.
I opened it up. Well, I don't know. You have a taste and see. Open it up, come on. I opened it. You know, because people...
Oh.
It's still all right, is it? I looked at... My missus had seen it in the shop window there, and it's a sort of... I said to her, I said...
my love.
Yes, show it to our producer, Mike Hawks there. There you go, see? Yes, it's a nice sort of...
Heart with
Yeah, it's a
my
chocolate
love
heart. There
on
seems
it.
to be something underneath it. And I said, listen, I said to my missus, I said, What do you think that is? So she says... Ooh. Fluffy bottom. Oh, dear. And so she says, I think it's a macaroon or something, is it? I said...
Don't you want a piece?
In a minute. I said, a macaroon? I said, I know what a macaroon is. My mum used to make something called coconut macaroons. They're sort of all great wadges of coconut all together, great piles of them. And my missus says, no. She said, we called them coconut haystacks. I says, don't be daft. I said, coconut haystacks is that great big West Indian wrestler, isn't it? Anyway, changing the subject, because we've got no time for romance. You can sit, you're young and in love, nibbling a heart there. We can't do that at home. My missus said this morning, said, of course you realise it's the 19th anniversary today of the day we got engaged.
Oh.
I said, oh, yeah, I can't remember what we did 19 years ago. I can't remember what we did 19 days ago. Blimey, I hope people, how do they expect it? I mean, I've been busy. You see, there's no time for romance in our house. Weather, you know the weather, you've read the papers, you've seen the weather, look out the window. Wind, snow, the great white monster, England in the grip. People have suffered, there are people... I mean, look, I was nearly killed by Bob Geldof dropping boxes of Boomtown Rats album onto the lawn, you know, for the underprivileged. Just missed me. But, you know, what happened in our house was, you see, people think just because you don't live on some Scottish farm or something, you know, just you're in the suburbs, you know, safe in Surrey. I'm sat there, wind comes... fan extractor blows off the wall in the kitchen, narrowly missing the Christmas milk pan.
Oh, no.
And landed crash on the floor, and I can't look. I had to bring it in. It fell on the... Hang on, there's some bits. I can't sort them out. It's like a big plastic... Well, see, what can I do about it? I mean, really, you see, fan extractors, I mean... They're like a big Venetian blind, aren't they?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's plastic. For those of you who tell me, it's one of those that you pull a string. It wasn't. It was in the house when I bought it. Undoing me. And they go. They were, but what's to extract? No matter to me. We don't do that much cooking. This is a bit on me diet. But it's all these plastic things. It's like trying to reassemble a dead fish. And I've had it on the kitchen table all the weekend. And they're all numbered. All these things. I've got 1, 7. Hang on, hold on, 6, 7. And they've all broken off. And I finally got them all together, and it was like, you don't remember, do you, those times when television was new, and they'd do, like, the news, then they'd have to have a pause to do the play, because they only got one studio, and they'd put on something called an interlude, and it was somebody doing a little craft, like making a pot, and there'd be, this sort of music would start up, and then there'd be some silly old twerp going, and then you were supposed to sit for about 10 minutes while they got the set out, you know. But I sat there all weekend doing this, hang on, 2... Does that fit? Oh, so it kept falling apart like that, till finally I got it back on the wall, and I said to the missus, here we are, darling, hold the ladder, up I get. And the whole lot. And I said to her, the missus, at the end of the weekend, I said, now you realise how lucky you are. Now, I said, that I stuck it together with some glue eventually and just held it up with some sellotape stuff. And I said, there you go, a fan extractor. And so she said, no, it's air conditioning. So I said, oh, no, that's you women. You don't know your technical things like we chaps do. No, I said, it's a fan extractor. She says, I'm afraid. She puts on a coat. She says, it's air conditioning. I'll never understand women, but seeing as it's some sort of anniversary for us today, here's the Expel Airs.
Sun and
It's like wrestling with a dead xylophone. I'll never get this thing extracted. Anyway, there's nothing for it. If you can't... I should probably have to sell it to the Tate Gallery and get a fortune for it. Which brings us to art. Oh, never. Oh, don't start all that again. I mean, actually, if anybody's coming down to London for a little serious bit, if you're arty at all, it's a good time to come down this next week or so, because there's the big Renoir exhibition, the big Chagall exhibition, and at the Tate, they've opened an exhibition called St Ives, 3964. Sounds like underpants, doesn't it? But, in fact, because it's St Ives in Cornwall there, from 1939 to 1964. You see, obviously in Britain we've never really had a lot of major art movements, Impressionists and all this sort of thing. We haven't really had all that, but this is St Ives became an area which centred a sort of art colony from about that period. Originally, I think it was a sort of movement to get away from it all, the sea, the sky, the light. I mean, it is nice down there, but that depends rather what you think art's all about. And gradually, all sorts of Burks started. I mean, some very famous and very good artists went down there, but soon, I think it was Bill Fever in the Observer on Sunday pointed out, reviewing the exhibition, and said, soon that St Ives became infested with artists like rats or something, falling out of every household sort of thing. I was down there in the summer because of that exhibition thing that I was judging, or hosting the judges, or whatever it was. There's still artists down there, but less so today. A lot of them are just stuck down there. It's rather like somebody, let's say, who's a Finnish jazz drummer, and he thinks if he moves to New Orleans, he's going to be great.
Yeah.
And you get there, you can say, "Hello, I am Bengt Bengtsson of New Orleans." He still finishes on the wrong beat. You ain't going to help him just living down there. And it's full of people with beards and so on now, whose wives pot. And look every morning for interesting stones on the beach to put a thong through, that kind of... You think, oh, Lord, But the exhibition is there, and the point is, it's... I always feel a bit edgy about that British sort of... Because it was the sort of thing where they looked at cottages and boats and things, and got them down to simple shapes, and they said there was a certain amount of art teacherliness, that kind of... Well, that's what art's about, beautiful shapes, and you think... Of course, it isn't what art's about at all, but on the other hand, it was a sort of crucial area for British art, so it's all there. I mean, all their influences, everything. So if you're coming down for the Renoir and the Chagall, certainly have a look at the Tate for the St Ives lot. Right, let's get on. Opera! We don't often do that, do we? I was in the office the other day. Opera!
Oh, I thought you said upper arm.
Well, you could never... No, upper arm! You can't tell when they're in opera, can you? They come on, hello, I love you. You think, what's he saying? They say, oh, it's moving, or they're dying or something. We don't know what's going on. That's why I've never been keen on opera. You're quite right, Janice, but I turned up there, and of course I had that week off, stack of mail piles up. You can always tell when it's circulars, things from, just please attend this, things that are just not real personal things. And there's one or two letters I'd just put to one side, and I opened this one, I thought, oh, this envelope a bit delayed, and I thought, and it was an invitation. Film of Carmen. They've just filmed Carmen with Placido Domingo and so on. I thought, filmed Carmen. Very nice up close up, but it's very well shot. And the thing is, of course, when I was a kid, everybody knew Carmen because of Carmen Jones, the film, which was the black version of Carmen with American servicemen and so on. I mean, you learned all the songs. But they're all slightly different, all that. See, it wasn't Toreador's song, it was the boxing song, it was all that jump, jump, stand up and fight until you hear the bell. You walk just like my ma, you even talk. I'll tell you why I want to dance. Beat that rhythm of the drum, beat that. And then that bit that goes... that they didn't translate to anything. That's the same in Spanish or Harlem. It just goes... But I thought, smashing, the real thing. So, I think, have a quick look. Just missed it by about 2 days, the press show. I don't know. I advise you, if people are wondering what Malcolm McLaren's on about, there's the film. You'll probably enjoy it. Go and see Carmen. I don't know as I feel it's worth paying money out to see it. Diet, in a sense. My famous diet.
Yeah.
I've not put any on.
No, you haven't.
But I'm not lost. I've lost a bit, but then I'd lose a couple of pounds, put on a couple of pounds, so I've hit a bit of a plateau. And I was so worried about this, I went out to the Takeaway Indian on Saturday night. I thought I'll get something more meditative, and think about the diet while I eat the Indian. So I go out there. Do you know what it's like when you get somebody who's also ordering a takeaway and they're sitting at the table opposite you, and you're just sort of reading the paper, waiting for yours, and they're getting theirs, and this sort of thing. And you can see he was some sort of clever, like a sort of liberal studies lecturer in a college. He's trying to impress this girl who he's with. He's looking through the menu. And you can see he's a chap who, India, I know, the dark continent, kind of, anything. I saw Gandhi 3 times, So he's turning the pages. It's one of these blokes who insists that he knows the right pronunciation. Don't you hate that?
Yeah, I hate that.
When he goes, well, what shall we have? He sort of thinks they're allowed to all the time. She doesn't say anything, just looks at the menu. He's sort of saying, well, what shall we have as a starter? Perhaps, and he's this picture of the onion bhaji. And says, onion bhajia. Oh, here we are. And they always say like biryani, as if it's like, they always go, as if they've just eaten it. You know, sort of, biryani, you know, as if they got stuck in the back, you know, and you think, I must say, we once went out with Gambaccini and a young lady who's quite well known these days, but that's neither here nor there, I wouldn't say her. But I always remember, and she looked to it, she wasn't too keen on the Indian, and she looked to it, she said, I think, we'd all ordered, she said, I think I'll have, kebab. I thought, what? I thought she was ordering a taxi, sort of. Kebab. And I thought, kebab? Why do you have to order the kebabs? Speak English, Bargy, Madras, kebabs. Oh, that's right. And we used to know somebody at school who used to, one of the teachers used to say, the Battle of Trafalgar.
Oh, no.
And we had another history teacher who said the invasion of the Vikings. And I used to know some twerp. They think they're doing it right and showing you up, you see. And some twerp at college, I always remember, used to say, well, the painters of Michelangelo. You think, don't do that. But then I once caught some woman out doing this. I was in a wine bar in the Isle of Wight. And it is Greek food and so on. And so she and the family were coming up and she was, oh, yes, this will remind us of our Greek holiday, won't it, darling, when we boated. It was in the Cowes area, the old boating people, Mediterranean. And she looked down and she said, oh, look, she said, moussaka. Hummus. Oh, they do hummus. And, he thought, and then she looked at the bottom and she just said, oh, pistachios. And the bloke with her just said, pistachios, darling. Which I thought was very good. But there's one thing I do really hate, don't you? Before we have another record, it's half people who get wrong pronunciation.
I know.
What's next?
Prince.
Do you mean Prince?
Prince!